Hey guys, what's going on? Tyrocco here, back again with another unique, not really unique set, but I want to give you a few breakdowns on how exactly you can use this set to get the most out of it, and a few builds and a few things, I guess, that are a little bit more unique and you may or may not have thought about. So I thought about this mostly because I was talking to some people recently and I mentioned this strategy to them, and they're like, a light bulb clicked and they're like, oh wow, I actually didn't even think about that. That's awesome. So I figured I'd share it with you guys. The set today we're going to be talking about is the Shield set. So it's a set that's farmable from the Fire Knight. We go in here and look over here at the Fire Knight castle, and Shield set drops. Obviously, get it all the time when you're running Fire Knight. Fire Knight's an amazing dungeon to farm with so many good sets. You can also buy the Shield set from the market. Now, the Shield set does have some pretty specific criteria. Obviously, it's based off of the champion's HP that it's equipped on. So if you have a champion with 1,000 HP, let's just be extreme with this example, the shield's going to be basically non-existent. Whereas if a champion who has 100,000 HP equips it, you're going to have a 30,000 point or 30,000 HP point shield, which is obviously massive. So you want it on champions who you can push higher HP. But in this video, I want to touch on some things where you may not necessarily have to have a champion who just has extreme amount of HP. You may be able to get some benefit from it from a champion who fills a different role, but also makes sense with having the shield set. Obviously, with the Scarab King being a boss on the Doom Tower, this is very important. Now, I'm not going to get too much into that because the Doom Tower will be resetting in, well, one day in 10 hours. Crap. I'm not actually climbed where I should be. Well, that's kind of sucks. I just found that out. I'm going to have to really push this today. But either way, the Scarab King does need shield sets, but the next round of Doom Tower, I don't know what it's going to be. So let's jump in here and let's take a look at the shield set. So we click upgrade, go to this little eye for the artifacts, and scroll down here and give an exact breakdown of what the shield set does. Now, the shield set says, grants a shield buff worth 30% of the wearer's max HP to all allies for 3 turns at the start of each round. This set is one of the most powerful in all of Teleria, best equipped on champions with high HP. It's even better to equip multiple champions in a shield set. Now, a lot of people didn't realize this necessarily, that you can stack the effects of shield. You can also stack a champion's shield if they cast it themselves. Now, this bottom line says, if a champion then uses a skill that places a shield buff, the shield from the skill will be shown as an additional buff and will not replace or enhance the existing shield buffs. Now, I don't know if enhance is the best way to describe this when saying it will not do something, because when I just read this before, I was thinking, okay, well, if it doesn't enhance it, then that probably means that it doesn't do anything at all. Like, it doesn't add shield to it, which is not the case. If you have a champion, let's say Krisk, for example, who places a 100,000 point shield. Let's just be real extreme with it, okay? Let's say it's 2 turns, okay? It only lasts for 2 turns. And then you have a shield set that places another 100,000 point shield. Both very big examples, but this one lasts 3 turns, all right? Let's assume you don't get hit whatsoever. You take 2 turns. Once that shield buff that Krisk casted disappears, then you're going to be left with a 100,000 point shield from the shield set. So you had 200,000 total points of shield because at first you had the shield set plus the shield he casts, but once that shield buff falls off, you only are left with 100,000 shield from the actual shield set itself. Those are all just theoretical examples. It's not the exact turn cast it's going to last, and it's not the exact numbers, of course, but hopefully you understand. Now, getting into some ideas with this shield set, better yet, let me first jump in here and show you guys kind of how this works so you can get a decent example of, hey, this is how the shield works with 1 champion versus with 2 champions. While I'm doing this, guys, don't forget to leave a like on this video. It helps out so much with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button. So as you can see here, well, crap, this doesn't really matter. We didn't take any damage. Bellower has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars of gray, so 5 bars of shield. Skytouch Shaman is in a shield set. I'm going to take Skytouch Shaman and throw her in here with Hawkhorn. So now we should have more than that 5 bars of shield is what I said that Bellower had. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bars of shield when we include Hawkhorn. Let's go ahead and make sure this was accurate. So 5 with just Sky Touched, and then 10 with Hawkhorn is what it seems. They're both wearing a shield set and both have about the same HP, so that does make sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, so as you can see, there is a shield icon right here. It looks like a checkered shield almost. Now, if you leave this battle, and then I throw in somebody like this dude, I completely forgot his name. Doesn't really matter. Drop Ghoul, fusion champion from a while back. Throw in Bellower, and we throw in Sky Touched as well. What you should see is those 5 bars of shield from Bellower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then once we take a turn, we don't lose any shield, of course. Sky Touched doesn't do anything. She gets feared. And then we're going to cast a shield on Bellower. As you can see, the shield icon is different than the shield set icon. So go ahead and do this. And then instead of 5 bars, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little slash. So what I was saying is whenever we take our 2 turns with Bellower, this is going to be a little bit weird, most likely, because the damage is going to be dealt and he's going to take some hits. But once this shield buff falls off, which it's not going to apparently, but what I was wanting to show is essentially once that 2-turn shield buff falls off, we're going to lose some of that shield. How much is lost? I don't know. I don't know where the damage was applied, whether it was applied to the first shield or the second shield. That's beside the point. So first off, obviously, using some shield sets in dungeons, in Doom Tower, and things like that work great. If you can have a champion, what I did for a long time is I took my Stag Knight, who is a debuff champion. He's really not there for, you can definitely gear him to do good damage, but what I used him for was a debuff champion. I had a shield set that was good enough to make sense to put him in, like it gave him the accuracy needed. He was able to apply debuffs no problem. About 200 to 220 accuracy was perfect. You mostly want it on the waves, and the waves of dungeons have lower resistance than the actual bosses. So about 200 accuracy, more than enough. I threw the shield set on him because Stag Knight, while he's not an HP-based champion, he does have a pretty high base HP. A lot of his abilities are based on attack, but I wasn't using him for attack. So what I did, like I said, I threw him in a shield set, and he gave the entire team a pretty solid shield. As you can see here, he has 61,000 HP. He's wearing an HP percent chest plate and gloves anyways, so throwing him in a shield set was nothing wrong with that at all. Like, it gave my team a little bit extra survivability, plus he did decrease attack and decrease defense. So Stag Knight, for example, is a champion who's excellent in a shield set, even if you're using him in the arena. So ultimately, if you're using a champion like Stag Knight, somebody whose main role is just applying the debuffs, or they have a specific role that's not necessarily doing a ton of damage, throw them in a shield set. They can be a great addition to your team and just add a little bit of extra survivability. Definitely not a bad set to have, and having more benefits is always the best. Okay, so transitioning from this, I want to give a few examples and a few neat ideas. The first one I want to do is the arena. So obviously, in the arena, you want to survive, right? Obviously, that's a no-brainer, okay? But say you go in here to this battle. Let's say we want to fight this Madame Saris group, and hey, you know Madame is going to remove all of your buffs, okay? And you're slower than the enemy. Well, I'm going to throw in my team that I know is going to be slower. My first team may be faster, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Sky Touch Shaman, which, as we saw earlier, she was wearing a shield set, so she's going to apply this shield set to my entire team. I'm going to throw my Duchess in here, and then I'm going to throw in my Seeker as well, which the champions don't really matter. The point of this is not which champions are in these spots. The point of this is overall how this team works. And actually, to better give it an example of how this will work, let's take Seeker out, just so we don't have that shield activate from him. And instead, I'll just throw in, say, an Alton. Not really going to change anything. He's not geared, so it's not going to make any difference whatsoever. So we're going to see, hopefully, the Madame attempt to remove these shields from everybody, okay? Like I said, the shields can be removed. So hopefully, as you can see, she removed the shields from everybody except for my Duchess. Now, why did she do that? And how can you make your team do this? So my Duchess is geared with high resistance, all right? So resistance is the only thing that can prevent shields from being removed. Shield sets work exactly the same as any other buff on your champions, so they can be easily removed from enemies in the arena. But say you're used to going second in the arena, you have a lot of times the issue of you go second and you end up taking a big hit. You've tried equipping shield sets before. You've even tried doing 2 or 3 champions with shield sets, and you've had massive shields But when you get into a match against a Ceres, she just removes those no problem. Well, take your champion. This may not work very well for everybody in all levels of arena because you do have to have a decent amount of resistance. My Duchess, for example, is sitting at 629 resistance. So she resists majority of the Cereses going up through the arena. But if you want to make sure your champion survives, take your resurrect champion. They don't have to be in a shield set. Take them, put them in a very high resistance set, and then put another member of your party, another member of your arena team in a shield set. So then, even if the enemy removes all of your other shield sets, at least your resurrecting champion, Duchess, a Gorgorab, anybody else who casts a team res Cardinal, anybody like that, at least they have that high resistance. So you know, hey, whether I have one shield set, two shield sets, or even three shield sets on as a buff casted to your main person, if everybody on your team is wearing shield sets, at least you know, hey, my champion, my resurrect champion, is going to have this much, much bigger HP pool to work from, okay? So I really like this idea. It helps out with so much, giving a little bit of extra padding. My Duchess goes from 60k HP to about 80k, I believe. I believe my shield's about a 20k shield, so it's definitely very solid. Now, the last and final bit of information I want to share with you guys is throwing in a shield set when you're using a champion like Seer for dungeon runs. So as you may or may not know, hopefully you do know. I mean, if you have a Seer, you probably know this. And when you look at Seer, it says removes all buffs from allies and enemies, then attacks all enemies. Damage increases according to the number of removed buffs. So if you're following along, you're probably already guessing what's going to happen. But hey, you have a Duchess, you have a Siphi. Let's say you have all kinds of buffs to place. Okay, they'll add about 3, 4, 5 or so. But then hey, let's throw in Skytouch Shaman, my champion who's wearing a shield. That's going to be 1 extra buff. So we have 2 from Siphi. Well, we have 3 total. And then we have some more from Skytouched, which this doesn't really matter. But you can see this shield right here in the front on all these champions. This is going to be an extra 1, 2, 3, 4 extra buffs that are going to be removed so that when Seer does her A3 ability, it's going to be that much more damage against the enemy team. Honestly, having this 1 extra buff on each champion may or may not be the difference between your Seer one-shotting the wave or you needing extra turns to actually kill all the enemies. So if you're doing speed runs with Seer, or if you're trying to build your Seer to do speed runs, I strongly recommend throwing either your Kymar or your Renegade or whoever you use into a shield set so you can have those extra shield buffs throughout your team. Sorry if you guys hear the dog barking in the background. My wife just got home, and luckily, that is all for the video. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope this gives you a little bit more insight into the shield set. I hope maybe now you put it on your radar, give it a shot, whatever it may be. Let me know who you use a shield set on. If you have a Mountain King, I'm jealous. He would be amazing in a shield set for me. But either way, guys, if you want to check out one of the videos above, definitely check one of those out. Either way, I'll catch you guys in the next one.